Today I am sharing my version of Vietnamese vegetarian pho. This is not an authentic recipe but will definitely soothe your taste buds as a warm and wholesome soup. So let's begin by adding some vegetable broth and some water in a soup pot and start boiling this. I will be mentioning all the quantities in description, so do check that out. Next goes in garlic cloves, some ginger and half a onion. Then I am adding few whole spices for which I am using a tea infuser to add these spices as it's easy to take it out after it's done. You can also use a small cloth spice bag for this. Here I am adding 2 cinnamon sticks, 2 star anise, a teaspoon of fennel seeds and a teaspoon of coriander seeds. So I'm packing it all together and just adding this to the soup pot as the broth and the water boils in it. Your stove should be on high during this time. After this, I am adding a vegetarian bouillon cube, some salt to taste and a teaspoon of brown sugar. Be careful while adding salt as the broth and the bouillon cube are both seasoned. I love some umami flavor in this soup and for that I am adding some mushroom powder. But this is completely optional and the soup will be good even without this. Give this all a good mix and let it boil on medium heat for at least 20 to 25 minutes to bring out all the flavors. While this is boiling, I usually cut my vegetables for the soup and also saute some tofu pieces for protein. So for tofu, cut the pieces into small bite-sized cubes and cook them in pan with some oil. This can also be done in air fryer. So it's up to you what you want to use. So cook the tofu pieces from all sides, turning them in between. Adding tofu as a protein makes this soup a full meal and will keep you full for long. I have also seasoned the tofu with little bit of salt in between while cooking. Tofu is done, so I'll keep it aside. Now after 25 minutes, I am taking out the spices and I am straining the rest of the soup. There is one more step to be done before I put vegetables in the soup. Boil some water in a pot and add some thin rice noodles in it. Boil the noodles only for 2 minutes and switch off the stove and then cover and leave the noodles aside for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, then just strain the noodles. Now it's time to add vegetables in the soup. All the vegetables in this soup have to stay slightly crunchy so we don't overcook them. We have to boil the vegetables only for a minute and the soft vegetables only for few seconds. So first I am adding some mushrooms and broccoli which I will boil only for a minute or so. You can select any vegetables of your choice for this soup, but there are two things to keep in mind. First, to cut the vegetables into bigger pieces, and secondly, add hard to cook vegetables first and then soft vegetables later because they cook in seconds. Give it a stir and then add few carrot pieces followed by zucchini and some snap peas. You only have to cook this also for a minute. Now at last, I am adding some bok choy which I have slit into two pieces lengthwise. If you can't find bok choy, then replace it with any greens of your choice like spinach or cabbage. Just cook it for 30 seconds and immediately turn off the heat. Now it's the time to serve and first add some rice noodles in the bowl followed by a few tofu pieces and then pour in the soup with all the vegetables in it. This soup is best when you serve it hot and immediately after you add the vegetables in the soup. If you will leave the vegetables for too long in the hot soup, they will not be as crunchy and will be slightly soft. At the end, garnish the soup with few herbs like I am adding some fresh cilantro leaves, some fresh Thai basil, few mint leaves and some jalapeno and a teaspoon of sriracha sauce for some spicy kick, but this is completely optional. At the end, you can also squeeze some lemon or lime juice to balance the flavor. So do try this warm and wholesome soup on a cold day and let me know in comments if you like this recipe. Also subscribe to my channel for more interesting recipes like this. Thank you for watching.